guys, it's Donnie Vapor and it's Rob and Eve here. We want to have a good talk with you guys about self-isolation and quarantine. That quarantine word, right? Partner is not like an evil word. That's not even a four-letter word. I don't know how many letters are in that word.
No, it seems very, very long and daunting.
It does. And what I want to do is preface this whole talk with you guys because people are losing their minds. I was on Facebook and listening to friends and stuff, like watching what they wrote about how the kids are home and what do I do with myself, and I'm pulling my hair out and they're homeschooling with their when is this going to end? I can't handle this. And I saw memes that it said like the older strong generation, I'm getting that wording wrong, they went to war, right, back in the day. What do they call that generation? The tougher generation, the I don't know the name of the generation.
Oh, what's the word? I know what you're talking about, though.
And they're like, all they're asking us to do is sit on our couch. The least we could do is sit on our couch. But it's more than that in the brain. And people are really frazzled. And I really want to share some suggestions. And I know you have a whole bunch with people, but I'll preface it with, I saw these inmates, believe it or not, these were prisoners that went to jail for multiple year sentences. It was on some YouTube thing I was watching the other day. And it was regarding about what it's like to be in jail in relation to the people complaining, I'm in jail, how do I self-quarantine? And what these guys all said, the uniform message was, you have to do the time. Don't have the time, do you? And I was like, whoa. And they explained that some of the inmates came in and became lawyers when they got out. One guy was like overweight and not healthy. He dedicated all the years of being in jail to working out, eating certain things, and he came out of it in better health. One guy came out of it as an author and wrote a book. And there are plenty of people that fell through the cracks that the time did them, and they cracked and they lost it. So it really comes down to it's an interesting way of doing it properly. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I think that that's really great perspective, because it's really hard if time goes into, time and days go into days, and what are you gonna do with that time? And you can select a new career, you could select a hobby, you could learn an instrument, you could study books, you could really just kind of transform yourself when you have that time available to you that you normally wouldn't, and try and make a positive out of a negative situation.
I love the positive out of a negative situation. I like how you frame that. And that's what I'm trying to say, because not that this is a good thing. It's absolutely tragic what's happening. But that aside, if you know me, I always talk about on my Donnie Vapor music page, a different perspective. If we look at it from the perspective of we're never going to have, more than likely, and I hope not, in our lifetime, the opportunity, the whole world shut down, to do self-help things, to make changes where we don't have to leave the house and go to work. How many times do you find yourself, I'll get to that in the regular world before this COVID-19. Oh, I had to go to work. All right, maybe next week. We have the luxury of we're here. So I wrote a couple of things down, made a couple of notes, and you touched on a couple. How about, here's one. How about cooking? Maybe you want to become that great chef, but you didn't have the time. We have YouTube. You can look up every freaking way to cook from any chef that has a YouTube video.
I think that's a challenge sometimes with people being at home, because either they lost track of their love of cooking and now they have the time to be able to love it again, or now they're in a position to have to cook for themselves and they don't know how. And they're not sure how to start. So I noticed a bunch of people are doing cooking shows online. We're going to have a little bit of that ourselves, but YouTube is absolutely the way to go. And you can look up anything and try something new without being so afraid of it.
What a great tool. We don't have to say, well, I can't go out and I can't get to the library, right? That went out like in the 2000s. It's all right here in front of us. Another one I wrote down is just like an exercise routine. I'll read a couple, or maybe a daily self-meditation, so we can learn to kind of calm our brain and focus on self-care and come out of it feeling better. Because let's face it, we're all so stressed, and it's a normal thing to be stressed when you're faced with what we're dealing with, and we can't stay in that chronic state. It's not good for our health. So learning how to meditate, we have the time to make a little time each day to go in internal and to try to self-help ourselves.
One thing that I love about that, I've seen some posts in my social media feeds about people trying to embrace the meditation. And what they're doing in some places is they're setting up online groups. And some of it is guided meditation. That's something that I've done myself because I have a hard time getting out of my own head.
Right.
So the teacher that I've been working with will guide me through it and help me through all the different stages and help kind of give me tricks on clearing out my head, which has been very helpful. But they have community groups where at a certain time every day they're all going to do it. Sometimes you're doing it on your own or not, and then you touch base afterwards. But it's a way to continue motivating each other, and it's a way to keep the intention there and turn the intention into action. When we say, oh, I think that sounds like a good idea, it's kind of a way to help us be accountable.
So I just was thinking, this is kind of cool. What if we do, like, before the coronavirus, a lot of people, when the seasons change, after winter comes spring. What's one of the big words out there that I grew up hearing that I used to dread? Spring cleaning. Don't people
Oh,
put their screens in and they get ready for the new season? So now that
yes.
we have all this time, what about spring cleaning the house or the apartment, or reorganizing things that you put off, that now you have the time to have the perfect place? Declutter, throw things away, deep cleaning. You can do a little bit each day and come out of this thing with a brand new living space that you're proud of. Just a
I
thought.
really love that idea. It's really challenging for me to be home without it being a peaceful space. I think that we all need that soft place to land at the end of the day where we can just go, and we're good, you know?
Yes, yes.
And I completely agree with your advice. 100%. Get rid of stuff that's not bringing you peace. There are a lot of different ways that you can tackle those projects. But like Don just said, if you select one thing and start a little bit every day, at the end of 2 weeks, all of that stuff is already handled. You can check it off the list. And then eventually you can reclaim your own space. I think that's a great idea.
So these are things that I meant when I said what the inmates were talking about as far as doing the time and not having the time to you. One last thing, and before we wrap this up, I was thinking, for those of you that have small children, what about socially distancing? You're not in your neighbor's space, but what about learning how to change a tire? What about working on a car? What about learning things that maybe you didn't teach your kids that can benefit them in the future? Wouldn't that be great?
I think that's a great idea. Especially nowadays, we're learning how many things we need to learn how to do for ourselves
Yeah.
because the convenience of everything was, oh, I'll just call such and they can do it. Or I'll just, drive into such and they can do it until they're closed. And there are a lot of basic things that we can do, like changing your oil, like changing your tire, like doing
Yes.
small repairs and things like that with your motor vehicle, with your home, outside. There are a lot of different choices. I think that's a great idea.
And you
Learn
know
a
what
new
that
trade, learn a new skill.
yeah. And you know what that builds on? It builds on a commodity, a precious commodity that I think you could never have enough of. And you can really build that up. And you know what that is? It's family time. That's together time that we don't have in this fast-paced world, that we can go back and build relationships with our children, our significant others, that we have that type of ability with the time now to build and nurture that. And that's a commodity that's worth more than gold to me.
Well said, partner. I agree with that.
Thank you. So pretty much that's what this segment's about. We're all going through stuff, and we just wanted to give you our perspective on things you can do, and I hope it's helpful to you. And as always, if you guys want to write into us, what's a good email address where they can send in some suggestions, because maybe they have some things we didn't even think of. I'd love to read it.
We would love to hear from you about absolutely anything under the sun. Please email us at goodtalktvshow@gmail.com.
All righty, we're going to throw back to the Wizard of Oz studio. Take a look. We'll catch you on the flip side. It was great having this talk with you guys. Bye.
Good talk.
Hey everybody, this is Joe Luca. I'm the keyboard player for Awaken, a tribute to the music of Yes, and I'm looking forward to hanging out and having a great time with Robin Eve and Donnie Vapor, so hope to see you there. Thanks.
Hey everybody, this is Motorcycle Mike, the personal injury lawyer. I've been riding motorcycles my entire adult life. During the course of my 30-year career as a lawyer, I've also represented countless injured motorcyclists. If you're one of them, I can be of assistance to you. Go to my website, please, motorcyclemikeesq.com. I'll always be there for you. I'm on your side when you ride.
Hi, my name is Sharon Gillette, and I'm the owner of One Stitch at a Time. I've been doing this since I'm 9 years old, but it became full-time when my husband was diagnosed with cancer several years ago. And I never went back to work because I wanted to take care of him. I feel what makes me stand out is that I care. I take a personal interest in your project. I take the time to find your correct fit and treat you like a friend, not just a customer. So whether it's embroidery, making patches, printing shirts, doing alterations and repairs, or bringing your ideas to life, you can call me at 631-428-1245 or visit my website at www.onestitchatatime.co.
So I'd like to take a minute to talk to you about my recording guru and longtime friend, Tony DiStefano. Some of you may know the name through his bands Chupacabra Cabaret or Too Hip for the Room, but he has a studio in Belmore, New York called Cosmic Funny Bone Productions, and that studio has changed my direction and my view in many ways about music and life through the two projects that I recorded with him back in 2010, and my latest album that was released in July of 2019, My Mother's Daughter. Walking into each project with Tony, I had a certain idea about how things were going to go down, and that's not how they went down for the most part, and I couldn't be more grateful. He brought things out of me that I didn't realize that I had, and helped me figure out what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it, which is a pretty valuable gift in my opinion. So on my second album that I just released with him, they were mostly written by me, but there were a couple of songs that I just loved so much, they had touched me so much that I wanted to include it into my project, and this song is one of them. This is called Paper Towel Holders, and this was written by Tony DiStefano, and it's something that I go to when I'm feeling maybe diminished or a little lost, and it helps me feel hope in myself and in the world. Used to build boats, now it's paper towel holders. He smiled and said, son, don't you get any older, 'cause I got me a stroke when I was 75. Now I don't know if I'm glad I'm alive. Well, I looked in his eyes and I thought I'd see sadness, but he took me aside. When he noticed my tear, he said, paper towel holders are all I can make, but I'm making one every day. And each week I can pick up a piece of wood this much heavier. I'm gonna build me a boat one day. I'm gonna build me a boat one day. Moved into this house and he was 75. He was gonna rebuild it, the whole lot, and inside he tore down the walls
tore up the floor. Then fate interrupted and he could not do more. Now he lives in this house, it's not fit for a man. And he can't do what he wants, but he does what he can. He said paper towel holders are all I can make, but I'm making one every day. And each week I can pick up a piece of wood this much heavier. I'm gonna build me a boat one day. I'm gonna build me a boat one day. Ain't it funny how plans can crumble and fall? Things unexpected come knocking to call. We can't even stand, how can we stand tall? The life that we want is not a sure bet. The things that we deserve I haven't seen yet. You can want what you want, but you'll get what you get. Oh, oh, oh. Now I know that you're thinking at the end of this song I'll probably tell you that he's dead and he's gone. The truth is I don't know, I never saw him again. I still think of him as a favorite friend. I still think of him as a favorite friend. 'Cause when I have those days when I just wanna cry, he didn't give in, then how dare I? Even if paper towel holders are all I can make, I've been making one every day. And each week I can pick up a piece of wood this much heavier. I'm gonna build him a boat one day. Build him a boat one day.
Perfect for me. We're traveling around, headed right into town, looking good as can be. So unbelievable, my very best friend, right by my side, not alone for the ride, and with me to the end. 'Cause someone told me years ago you would be with me. I never would have seen it as a possibility. When you're young, you feel like you can't conquer anything. You never even wonder if you'll see another spring. You've opened my eyes, you tell me to see. It's a beautiful life, I really love having you walking around here with me. So irresistible, so tried and so true. I never say never, 'cause when we are together, nothing we couldn't do. If someone told me years ago you would be with me, I never would have seen it as a possibility. But when you're young, you feel like you can't conquer anything. You never even wonder if you'll see another spring. You help me survive. You help me survive. You help me survive. Keep me alive. Someone told me years ago you would be with me. Never would have seen it as a possibility. When you're young, you feel like you can't conquer anything. You never even wonder if you'll see another spring. That's Jancy. I hope you enjoyed that one. It takes a little bit of the breath out of me, but it was well worth it. I enjoyed that. So I'm going to throw it back to the show. It's been a pleasure playing for you.
Hi, Ron Alonso here, lead vocalist for Awaken, tribute to the music of Yes. Looking forward to talking to Donnie Vapor and Rob and Eve about all the new music and upcoming Awaken shows in 2020. See you there.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
DeJesu, welcome to Good Talk TV. It is so great to have you as part of the show. Thank you for being our Artist of the Week.
Oh, thank you for having me, Robin. And Donnie, wherever you are.
He is definitely here in spirit because we both have been fans of you, your music, and what you do for a really long time now. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a musician. I play guitar, a little piano, a little bass, a little bit of everything, but guitar being the main thing. I'm singer, songwriter, emphasis on songwriter. That's my main thing that I love to do more than anything. So, not trying to go out on the road and be a superstar or anything like that. Just want somebody to take one of my songs and do something with it, please.
You have your original music that's out and available for download. When did you start releasing your own music, and what do you have available for our fans that they can listen to at home?
Well, all right. So first off, I'll say that 2 new songs recently, Cry and Miss Maybe, and they're available everywhere on all the available digital locations. In 2003, I released an album called Instant Gratification, which is 11 or 12 songs that I didn't put out to the digital outlets yet, but I will eventually. But these days, I feel like people need to hear one song at a time for some reason. The album concept is just totally gone. But when I'm done recording 10 or 11 new songs, I'll probably throw it onto an album the way that I would have envisioned it, back when people enjoyed listening to albums more, and maybe come up with pictures and liner notes and all that type of stuff. But for now, it's gonna just be some singles.
I like when a whole project comes out from an artist, because I can see, you know, what their process was and their journey was, start to finish, and they're delivering a whole thing for you. But then I've also been in a recording, you know, project where it was done at my own pace and my own time, which meant it took like 2 years for each of them.
Right.
You know, you're holding onto the music. So my next one, if I have a song that I want to release, I'm going to release it as a song, because why are we waiting and having to present this whole thing?
You never
On the
know.
other side, I do love sitting down with a little booklet and reading all the notes and who was involved and all that stuff too.
Yeah,
So
the order of the songs that you wrote, and have it kind of be like a free-flowing thing from the first to the last song. Obviously, you had a thought process to go behind all that, right? So,
yes.
But then again, you never know when you get hit with something like this, when you never get to see the inside of a studio for another 4 months, and it's like, damn, I should have just released that song.
How extensive is your body of work with the songs that you have written and the music that you've created?
I have a lot of backup. So it's, you know, before I go into a studio, I have to be like, you know, and I'll run it by my wife and family, and I'll say, listen, should I record this one next? Should I record this one next? As you know, it's not a cheap thing to do if you're gonna, you know, try to do it the right way. I'm not very technical with like home recording equipment and stuff. The way that I write songs is it goes right on my iPhone. You know, here's my idea, here's the song. I bring it to Bob Stander, who's producing all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give a shout out to him. And then we just go from there. You know, we throw all the instruments on, and you know, I try. Usually, I mean, you know, if the song is good, right, with just you and a guitar, you know, it's like, all right, this one, here's the song. This is good. I'm gonna go with this one. It's not about all the production and all that stuff, even though I don't know. I go back and forth because I've written songs that aren't that great, that I feel like after they were produced, it's like, oh wow, that song's actually not that bad, and vice versa. I go into into the studio with a song that I think is like amazing, and nothing can live up to what it was in my mind, and then it just goes down the, you know. So
I've experienced that myself, where I go in and I have really big ideas of, oh, it's going to be this and this and this, and no matter what we tried or what we did, it just didn't work. And
Right.
then other ones where you kind of think, all right, well, this might be okay, and then all of a sudden that becomes your favorite song that you've worked on for the past how many years?
Right, exactly. They're like, you know, your songs are like your babies. It's tough to pick favorite ones, and you have to pick and choose, you know. But yeah, I've been writing songs, you know, God, for forever. So I'm still in that zone right now. I said, you know, what song do I want to go in with next? You know.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, I guess. But you know, I'm lucky enough to have, you know, such amazing musicians play, you know, on these songs. So it really takes them to the next level. I have Steve Holly playing drums. You know, he was in a, you know, a little known group called Wings. So
Sounds familiar.
yeah. And like I said, you know, Bob Stander, and you know, I get to it's really cool being in the position that I'm in right now with the people that I get to play with, and you know, I'm really happy. Like I said before, I don't care if I, you know, have to go on the road and, you know, and be I'm not looking to be a superstar. I'm not looking to go on the road and be a superstar. Just somebody take my songs and get really good people to play on them, and they'll sound better, and then maybe in a movie or something like that, you know.
I totally understand. I don't want to be on the big stage, but I would love it if one of my songs was up there.
Right?
Yep. Totally agree.
Right? That's I guess that's the old. People keep saying, what's the goal? Why are you doing this now? And you're, you know, why you keep, you know, and I do it for me too. You know, I love to write and I love to record, and you know, when I'm long gone, I'll have these things to, you know, for my kids and their kids to say, oh, this was grandpa, or this was great grandpa, or this was, you know.
Tell me, what do you think that those songs will tell them about you?
I don't know. You know, I guess I hope that those songs will kind of reflect what life was like, you know, from 1980 until whenever I stopped writing songs. And my songs used to be more, and on my first album, they were kind of more about me personally, you know, written first person. And the songs that I'm doing now, I feel like it's nice that I've kind of been able to grow a bit as a songwriter and write about topics that don't necessarily have to do with me. So, you know, maybe that can be applied to all.
you have a show on Gov's Radio that's called Jam. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think it's important that we all support each other as musicians. I think there's an insane amount of talent that I would like to help spread the word about as much as possible. If my show has 20 views one day or 20,000 views the next day, exposure is always a good thing. Mm-hmm. And we've had great guests on it, including you guys, County Line Road, and we've had Rock and Roll Hall of Famers on it. We've had comedians on it. And when I'm not doing, because that's every other Monday. When I'm not doing that, I'm doing the other off Mondays from home, doing my own thing. So it's a perfect blend of, getting my own stuff out there while at the same time, getting the word spread about, all these incredible musicians. That's a fun thing to do. And it's great to meet. I mean, half of these shows that I'm doing, I'm meeting these people for the first time. I've only seen them perform online or word of mouth from somebody. Wow, this person's great. I got to have them on the show. They come in, and literally the first time that we speak to each other is the interview. And we'll even play some songs together. I try not to step on toes too much. I'll just sit there with my acoustic. If I know the tune, I'll jump in. If I know the harmony, I'll jump in. I try not to be, because I want it to be, mostly about the artist. But I've created a huge Rolodex now of local musicians, and that's what it's all about, community. And that's why what's going on now just totally sucks, because man, it killed that. But at least we have something like this, this keeps it going.
I was a hater of technology and the internet for many, many years, and I will tell you what, I am absolutely embracing it now because of having the opportunity to do something like this. Joe, thank you so much for sitting down with us. I really, really appreciate it. We're so happy that our viewers get to meet you and what you're about and learn more about your music. And just a shout out for last week, if any of you missed last week's episode, if you check out segment 4, there is an amazing clip that was done with Joe and his daughter, Lyric. And it's something that you don't want to miss. So be sure to go back and check out last week's show. Joe, tell our viewers how they can look you up online and how they can download your music and get more you.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. It's been awesome, as it's always awesome speaking to you. Miss you, Donnie, but I'll talk to you later. Yeah, my stuff is it's very simple. I basically keep it on Facebook /Joe DeJesu Music, JoeDejesu Music, and yeah, please shoot a like or a follow or whatever.
Okay, so we're gonna get an original song out of you. What are you gonna share with us today?
I think I'll do my new song, well, one of my new songs, Cry, which is available all over the digital media places, interwebs.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pulmonary Wellness Foundation, Good Talk TV sponsor. Please visit pulmonarywellness.com to learn more about this incredible organization.
Hi, my name is Sharon Gillette, and I'm the owner of One Stitch at a Time. I've been doing this since I'm 9 years old, but it became full-time when my husband was diagnosed with cancer several years ago. And I never went back to work because I wanted to take care of him. I feel what makes me stand out is that I care. I take a personal interest in your project. I take the time to find your correct fit and treat you like a friend, not just a customer. So whether it's embroidery, making patches, printing shirts, doing alterations and repairs, or bringing your ideas to life, you can call me at 631-428-1245 or visit my website at www.onestitchatatime.co.
Hey everybody, this is Motorcycle Mike, the personal injury lawyer. In addition to representing injured motorcyclists for over 30 years now, during that same time, I've represented countless car crash victims and construction workers injured on construction sites. If you need my assistance, go to my website, motorcyclemikeesq.com. I will always be there for you.
Hey guys, Donnie Vapor here, coming at you live from the Vapor Bunker, and I want to say that I've had a lot of time to reflect on a lot of things about life in general and the situation that the whole world finds themselves in. We're all in this together, and it's unprecedented. We've never had anything like this type of pandemic where the entire world is pretty much on lockdown. It's stopped entirely. And nobody really has an answer to how do we come out from under this? When does this pandemic end? When do we flatten that curve, as they say? And then after that's done, when do we get back to living life the way it used to be, or do we? When does the quote-unquote normalness come back? How does that work? I mean, I have a lot of thoughts that swimming through my head, like, will it ever be the same? Like, once this is over, are we going to feel comfortable to run out and sit down next to people in a sporting event, in an arena, or in a jam-packed concert hall, shoulder to shoulder, where there's no room? Are we going to feel comfortable getting on a plane with the recycled air? I mean, I hope we get back to what we used to have. I'm just asking those questions because it's a complete and utter shock to our system to just halt everything and be told that we need to socially distance ourselves. Now, I believe that's true. In order to stop the transmission of this, they say we need to be 6 feet apart. And that kind of makes sense because you don't want droplets, or if you sneeze and you can't touch somebody if you're 6 feet apart. We don't want that transmission to happen with those type of normal activities and normal way of life, just being in somebody's presence. So everyone's been told, go in your house, and that's how we're going to flatten this curve. And like I said, that kind of makes a lot of sense. But
in the same token, I wonder, like, it's kind of weird. Not being around people and not being in a social setting and socially distancing ourselves is something that will work. And I look at it almost like such a paradox. Like, it's like a Twilight Zone episode to me, because we are social beings. That's what we are. Us human beings are social creatures. What do we crave more than almost anything? It's that connection. It's the social events. It's being with somebody. It's loving touch. It's hugs. It's kisses. I mean, that's the stuff that we crave. And yet, in order to save humanity as we know it, we have to back away from something that is innate to us. I want to try to offer another insight to this, that maybe if you look at it from a different vantage point that I'm going to throw at you, maybe, I don't know if it's going to make it easier, but maybe a little bit more palatable, if you would. I don't know. So just imagine this happened then, 20 years in the past, and we had to quarantine ourselves. We don't know how long. Like right now, we really don't know how long. How would we cope? I mean, we'd have to find a way to get through with it. Would that be almost like solitary confinement in jail? Would it be? I don't know. I mean, some people have families, but what about people that are alone? You know, some people are living. I live alone. It's me and my cat Scrappy. So it's tough when there's not like a significant other there or a family. But if that would have happened back then, it would have been really, really difficult. But it didn't. So what I'm trying to say is, it happened now. And the mere fact that we are able to talk to each other, and I can put content out like this, and you guys can watch this, and we can connect. We have shows like Good Talk with Robin Eve and Donnie Vapor that I'm blessed that you guys are watching. I do a Facebook live show pretty much 5 days a week, and I've been doing 2 of them, in which I play original music. I try to inspire people. Maybe, just maybe, they'll look at that and say, you know, maybe life is beautiful, and I have to change my perspective. You know, you don't have to be sick to watch me, I tell people. And I've developed a beautiful audience from around the world that feels this connection. So what I guess I'm trying to say is that, in a sense, we're blessed to have this technology, and we were able to transcend that human physical connection through the virtual world and still get some beautiful and actual palatable effect. I know people write to me. We speak on a nightly basis when I play and do the shows on my Donnie Vapor music page, and they tell me that we feel like we're hanging out together around a campfire or in the living room. When I look into the computer right now, I see faces. I do. Call me crazy, but I don't just see a number. I don't think I'm just alone in the room talking to myself. I actually feel the connection to you beautiful people. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, we have such terrible things happening all over the world at all times. And now we get hit with this ridiculously scary pandemic, and people are dying, and we have to try to keep the social distance. We have to listen to the medical authorities that we have put in place that hold this together, and try to glean the best information. We try to get the best news that we could. And I want to touch on the news in a second. But at the end of the day, I really feel that we're getting that human connection through the virtual world. And it's a blessing. It really is that we have that ability, and it can really, really calm you down. So yeah, let's talk about the news. What I'm trying to say, there are so many people that are living right now, and I understand. I was doing it a little bit. They're living glued to the tube. They're living watching the news report, not once, not twice. They have maybe 30 different news reports happening, and they're watching all 30 over and over to hear maybe a little difference of opinion here, a difference of opinion there, a different philosophy here. This one said that, this one said this, and it's like fight and flight. We start getting worked up, and do we watch it for like 10 minutes or so and walk away? There are people,
I was there for a little bit. They have it on all day. It's on in the background. It's on in the foreground. They're watching it till their eyes are going bloodshot and they're going to sleep. And they're wondering why they can't sleep properly. They're wondering why their anxiety is there. They're wondering why they're so stressed out of their minds. And are we hearing good stories? Are they putting on, I mean, yes, they are putting on some cases where they show who overcame the disease, who healed from it, some possible things that maybe we can use, some experimental drugs. But for the most part, we're hearing, and the death count for this county, and the death count for that county, and we're going to be hit with the worst of it when it hits the apex. It's just scary, scary news that I guess we need to hear it, but I don't know if it has to be so sensational. But, and I'm not just kind of sticking it to the news because I don't want to do that, but there is a saying, and I have friends that are in the news business, and I've always heard this since I was small, and you can look this up if you don't believe me, but there's an expression. And the news generally doesn't put pictures and stories on of the firemen saving the kitten and the cat from the tree. And they usually don't put on stories on nightly news. It's an alert. Aunt B baked the perfect peach pie. You know, it's who got killed, who got stabbed, what house blew up, what war, what terrorist. It comes down to an old saying, if it bleeds, it leads. Why? Because it draws people in. It's the same as if you're driving, unfortunately, with that rubberneck. You're in traffic and there's an accident. And you have to take a look. You have to see the wreckage for yourself. So, I mean, maybe that's in our DNA. Maybe, I mean, we just need to see that. But there's repercussions from that. There's definitely things that happen to us from having that type of mindset. We take in that stress. We take in those things on a daily basis. And I feel a lot of people can only get to so much they can take before they snap. And I'm just on here rambling, and I appreciate that you're allowing me this opportunity to ramble. But I'm saying that maybe take a little bit of you time. Never, ever in our lifetime, I hope we don't have another opportunity, and I'm using the word opportunity. Yes, this disease, this virus, is absolutely horrific. The worst I've ever seen and heard about in my life of what's going on. But if you flip the perspective and put that aside, we have an opportunity now of a lot of time on our hands. The whole world does. It's not just one person or like one community. Pretty much the whole world at large is being told to hunker down and stay in place. So day after day, we have time to reflect like I'm reflecting right now and realize how precious life really is. In a sense, it should make you really joyful and smile, because I know when you're in the rat race and like I started my talk, you're going back and forth to work and you're busy with all these different events. Are you really stopping? I mean, maybe some of you are, but as a whole, I'll speak in the generalization. As a whole, are we stopping to smell the flowers? Are we stopping to look at nature? Are we stopping to listen to babies laugh? How great is that? To me, those are the most precious and beautiful things in life. So to sum this all up and maybe leave hopefully a lasting impression with you is we're going to get through this. We are. I know that. With all my heart and my soul, we will prevail. And I hope that we come out of this with a different perspective, with a different outlook on life, that maybe we slow down and we spread a little bit more love, joy, and understanding, and realize how beautiful it is to be a human being on this planet Earth and to enjoy a beautiful life to the best of our ability. We have this chance. It's like a major reset, and I hope we all take it. Thanks a lot for listening.
Hey, I'm Ray Perez, the bassist for Awaken, a tribute to the music of Yes. I look forward to a good talk with Robin Eve and Donnie Vapor. See you soon.